Yo, what's happening, man? Boss Golf back with another discussion video for you hoes out there, man. So the best thing that happened at the Games Awards show was the reveal of Soul Calibur 6. That's probably that is the best thing that happened there, because a lot of people wanted Soul Calibur to come back, including myself. And we were all guessing it. There was talks about it on forum sites and things like that. And it's finally happened. And it's finally a reality. Now that, the hype has died down a little bit and we got Soul Calibur 5, I want to talk to you guys about some of the things that I'm hoping and that I'm expecting when it comes from Namco and the team and the devs that are over there working on Soul Calibur 6. Like I said, basically just things that I would like to see inside of this game. First of all, before I talk about that, I want to kind of go into depth about some of the things that are in the game and kind of what it entail. So, as I was kind of guessing, and as they were kind of hinting at in the trailers and things like that, Soul Calibur 6 is definitely going to be, some people were calling it a soft reboot. You can basically just call it a reboot. Soul Calibur 6 is going to be a reboot, recalling some events that happened between Soul Calibur 2 and Soul Calibur 4 or 5. Somewhere in between there, the devs were saying. What I think about this, honestly, it's not a bad idea or it's not a bad decision. I know a lot of the OG fans of Soul Calibur would definitely like to see a lot of their characters returning, but in my opinion, I kind of wish they would have just did a continuation of what they already build upon, and if not a continuation, then just like a brand new story with new characters introduced to the series. I know a lot of people, especially including myself, I did not dig Soul Calibur 5 story mode, honestly, because looking back at it, and even when I played it, I've always felt that it was half-assed. Not only with the drawn like slideshow scenes and things like that, but even the roster the game was just kind of half-assed, and a lot of it was revolved around some new mechanics and the character creation. But going back to the story, I kind of wish they just would have expanded upon that and build a new story. And a lot of people want to go back to the old stories and they want to redone the quote-unquote wrongs of what they done, or maybe there's a new engine and there's a new system, new generation of game players and new consoles and things like this, so they might want to go back and add some things to the old project. But just like with how I was talking about with Mega Man 11 and any other game that I talk about, I always love seeing developers go and expand on their universe. Yes, when it comes to like stories and storytelling and writing and things like that, game creating, there's things that you go back and you look and you like, I wish I would have done that. You can still go back and you can maybe fix those things, maybe retalk or do like flashbacks to those things, but I honestly wish they would have just expanded instead of it being a soft reboot, because I don't know, even looking at that, it still feels to me like it's almost kind of lazy. It's like, why go back and tell the same story that you've already told over again, just newly redone, when you could like expand your universe, add more new characters, or bring back the characters with different tails. Maybe this time bring back Mitsurugi with one arm or something like that. Make them be even more badass. Some things like that. Just intricate and interesting ways to like revamp your series. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how Tekken 7 did. Tekken 7, one reason I like the story, because even though honestly it was kind of like BS, the whole saga has been about the Mishimas. At least the main story has revolved around them and all their bullshit that they've gone on, and it's kind of come to a quote-unquote closure in Tekken 7. And of course there is some closure that we would have liked to see as fans in Soul Calibur 6. That's my opinion on that. Another thing that's going to be inside of this game or that the devs were hinting on, was character creation. Now, as far as character creation in Soul Calibur 5, that's probably the best character creation I've seen in any game single-handedly on any on any console, any generation, because of how in-depth and how detailed and intricate that you can go when it comes to Soul Calibur 5 and their character creation. I remember looking back when this game first came out and people were doing creations. There's still videos where there's people 100 plus character creation and recreations of famous TV or video game characters in Soul Calibur 5, things like that. What I'm hoping for Soul Calibur 6, just like what I hoped for Tekken 7, but they disappointed beyond goddamn measure, is they bring back the character creation of 5 but add to it. I swear to fuck, if they take away any aspect that was Soul Calibur 5 when it comes to character creation, it's almost going to be like, what was the point of that? Why do you do that? That's why when I talk about Tekken 7, a lot of people are saying, oh, Tekken 7 is the best fighting game in terms of gameplay mechanics, just like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. But when it comes to the package of a whole, you look at it and you're like, why would you take away from that? So I'm hoping the devs were talking about in the interviews and on stage at the Game Awards that they were trying to learn from what happened with Tekken 7. I'm hoping when it comes to character creation that they don't do what they did in Tekken 7 and add upon what they already have. That's like one of the best things about Soul Calibur 5 besides the gameplay is character creation. That was it was the most interesting thing. You can't get any more interesting when it comes to character creation than that, in my opinion, from what I've seen based on all of the games that I've ever played. So when it comes to 6, I'm hoping that they add upon that. It would really suck, and it would be once again disappointing come the release of the game to find out there's either 30% or more less aspects of character creation than what you've seen in 5. That would be really disappointing. Even with all of the things that they were supposed to add to character creation in 5, it still was that was at its peak. Even though, coming for 6, I hope that's not its main focus, but just don't take away anything that's already been in there. Something else they were talking about is new mechanics, gameplay mechanics that we've seen in the trailers and in interviews that they were talking about, is the reversal edge. Now I didn't peep it at first when I first watched the trailer, because my reaction was like, oh my god, Soul Calibur 6 is back. But when I went back and watched it and watched other people talk about it, this mechanic looks really interesting, because according to them and according to what I'm seeing on screen, it's gonna be parry fucking central when it comes to this game, if you know how to pull it off, if you know how it works. And it looks like it's heavily rewarding people for pulling it off right, or being, I guess you could say, the best at doing reversal edges and things like that. I'm excited to see what that's all about as far as the gameplay aspects. I do hope, going back to gameplay, that they add or that they bring back the stuff that they had in 5. I hope they did the finishers, the fatalities, or whatever you wanted to call them, that were in Soul Calibur 4. Leave those out, because those slow down the gameplay dramatically, and they get fucking tiring looking at the never-ending finishers. And then even to do the finishers, I do believe there was even instances if you broke the other character's guard, you can fucking end the game within seconds. Ah, fucking hiccup, excuse me. You can end the game within seconds, and that just be it. So they really improved upon the gameplay in 5, and I'm hoping that they add back the mechanics from 5, but also along with the reversal edge, that they improve upon it as well. It does also look like the stages are a lot bigger than what they were in the previous games. So, I mean, it looks cool. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing yet, because I've yet to get my hands on it, and we've only seen Mitsurugi and Sophia play, so there's not really much to that. But all in all, I just wanted to my main hope for this game is that I really hope that they do this one right. Tekken 7, like I said before, is in terms of gameplay, yes, it's a great fighter. It's really fun to play. But when it came to the overall package, that game really is I don't even think worth $30. It's probably $20 at max, because all it was gameplay and story. The fact that they took away like a huge chunk of the character creation and just kind of watered it the fuck down. It was like, what the hell are you guys doing and why? You know what I'm saying? So I don't, just like with MVCI, man, I just hope they learn from these games, they learn from these so-called mistakes, and they improve and they aim to please. If they like people giving them money, and if they don't like people, of course criticism and everything is good for like wanting to hear people's input and improve, maybe put out updates and shit like that. But when the negative heavily outweighs the positives about the game, that's not good, and that's not a good look for your game or your company or people's opinions about it, especially like people like me. If you've been a fan since the goddamn beginning of like Namco fighting games, and then you've seen them like peak, and then all of a sudden they do horrible in your eyes, that's not a good look. You don't want to see them do that. And as I stated before, I don't want to see any of my favorite like video game companies or anything fail or do bad in my eyes, because then it's like, okay, if you guys are putting out this type of stuff, like, why would I want to continue to invest money and time in your products in the future when I can just buy it at a heavily discounted price with all the extra added shit later, instead of buying it day one? And I do like buying shit day one. You get to have it when you have it. You get to play with everybody else. You get to experience it instead of waiting like right then and there. So those are my initial thoughts. I just want to talk about like my thoughts and stuff on this game after all the hype has died down. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Definitely, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button next to the subscribe button, so that way when I drop any more information about Soul Calibur 6, you guys will get notified right away, and keep you guys updated on all the juicy shit that's happening over at Namco. As always, man, it's your boy Boskov. Y'all already know what to do. Make sure y'all keep them shoulders long, them clips tight. I will see you to the hoes on the flip one. Peace.